explaining. But it's also dedicated to the idea that actually there isn't a fundamental tension between self-interest or like one's own personal advantage and doing what is just or kind of more broadly ethical. So actually the whole challenge of the Republic is that it starts off with some of Plato's actually brothers, who he also makes into characters, and some other people are portrayed as challenging. Why should I bother being just? Why shouldn't I simply
Right.
free ride, in
Right.
effect?
Right.
What's in it for me, right?
Right.
So again, it's really addressing these questions that
Right.
are alive in our own culture.
Right.
And the kind of answer of the Republic ultimately is, if you push that idea to its limit, you become someone who can't trust anyone and
Right.
nobody can trust you. And so you can't have any friends and you really can't enjoy life because you can't trust anyone. And the
Right.
kind of ultimate image of this is the tyrant, right? The
Right.
person who's always afraid they're going to be poisoned by their bodyguards, right? They
Right.
can't enjoy their food, even if it's good food, because maybe it's poisoned, right? They can't
Right.
actually. And so Plato's kind of ultimate answer is, that sort of suspicious, self-interested, what's in it for me disposition, if it goes too far, and you could say, in modern American society, it's at risk of having gone too far in
Yeah.
these ways, it actually undermines our ability to actually find joy and meaning and fulfillment in our civic and personal relationships. And so I think that's kind
Yeah.
of Plato's deeper answer is, don't think of ethics as this external thing
It's not.
that
It's
has
not
to
abstract.
be.
It's very practical, because if
Yeah,
you follow it down that path, then you're hurting yourself.
exactly.
It has an application to your life, because if you try to make this happen, then ultimately, like, you destroy what makes it possible for a good life, and that's relationships and people helping one another in a coordinated way, which is the basis of a society. If you don't have a society, then you just have individuals in conflict, and and you don't get like a lot of the basic things that most people say that they want, with food and shelter in an organized way, not to mention all the amenities that modern society and civilization has. So yeah, no, absolutely, and to me, like, you're absolutely right on, and Plato certainly is when he says go on questioning, and the dialogue has to take place, and you have to keep like discussing it and engaging like in a real and direct way in order for anything to succeed. You can't have just, if you have stasis, then inevitably you have death. You have to keep discussing and evolving the ideas and trying to, and constantly checking and counter checking in order to make sure this works in a thousand different ways, because otherwise things will crumble and fall, and you need to constantly repair and update all different parts and structures of society, and particularly governmental ones. And it sort of puts me in a state of fear, knowing that for 2 generations now, like, we've been in a state of political stasis in this country, to where it was the 1970s, I think, the last time the Constitution was amended, and that we can't and that we can't make basic changes to what we have, and that the dialogue has become so difficult, as we've seen with the discussions about political dialogue and interaction and the lack of it across the political divide. And that ends up with things being, I think, ultimately so ossified that we get to a very dangerous situation. And I'm really glad that that we've learned, hey, there are a few things here from the ancients that they've been able to like bring to us. And Plato, despite his flaws, maybe we don't want a huge technocracy, and maybe we don't want it like so removed from people, but there are a few pretty good ideas here that we should probably be paying attention to. And Melissa, Lane, I'm so glad that you were here to bring this to us and discuss it and engage in a dialogue, because that really is the essence, I think, of keeping this going. Again, we've been speaking with Of Rule and Office, Plato's Ideas of the Political. Melissa, Lane, thank you. Thank you so much. I know we spent a lot of time on this. We took almost a whole hour. And I know there's so much more that we could get into, and I would love to do that, maybe revisit this at some point. But thank you so much for being with us and spending the time that you have today with us on Facepalm America.
Thank you. It was a great pleasure.
We will be back in just a moment with some messages from you, the listener. This is Facepalm America. I'm Beowulf Rockland. Facepalm America, I'm Beowulf Rockland, and I wanted to let you know, you know this, I say this from time to time, that you can message or call us at 202-656-6271. And I wanted to read a couple of your messages. I'm way behind. This is from a week or so ago, but I wanted to make sure that you guys got your messages across. So this is from Jack in New Jersey. Jack says, I just listened to our friend Glenn Kirshner's podcast on Trump's reduction of bond required to $175 million. I don't have Glenn's contact information other than social media, which I'm not on, so I'm reaching out to you. By the way, if you don't know, I do some of the announcements and do some voice work for my friend Glenn Kirshner's podcast, and I encourage you to listen to Justice Matters with Glenn Kirshner. He has probably the best updates on Trump's ongoing legal situations that you can find out there. I encourage you to listen. Here's what Jack continues with. I am actually relieved bond was reduced. Don't get me wrong. I believe Trump should pay all he owes, but at $600 million plus, I have no doubt he would have had to go to foreign actors for that amount. Trump is already a clear and present danger. I believe Trump is already indebted to Russian and other foreign actors. I believe Trump may be able to swing the $175 million, but no way the $600 million plus. Let New York clean him out after the appeals are over in the fall. I will pass that along to Glenn, that thought, and thank you so much, Jack, for listening. Also wanted to convey another message from Bob from San Jose, a regular listener. The Republicans have been trying to blame President Biden for a bad economy and lots of inflation. That's why I am expecting them to put as much sand into the gears of the federal government, aiding the port and people of Baltimore as they possibly can. That, of course, referring to the collapse of the Francis Scott Key Bridge. And yeah, that's a good point, Bob. I think that we will see a lot of sand thrown in the gears. I don't think the Republicans will be at all helpful when it comes to actually paying for that, because they want as many problems under Democratic control as possibly they can get. And then that will completely change once they are in power. We've seen it before. It will definitely happen again. I want to thank you for listening today. Thank you so much. I realize that you spend time in your day on a lot of different things, and the fact that you're listening to this is, hey, that's time that you could be doing something else. And I really appreciate that you take the opportunity to listen to us. If you have enjoyed it, please share a link to this podcast on your social media. That really helps us out, grows the audience. I want to thank Two Squared Media Productions for this, and Ace Elson and Rosabelle Hine, who are the producers of the program. And until next time, enjoy the day.